Okay.
Computer says
All right, I
it's
call
there.
this meeting to order. Mr. Johnston, will you give the
Yes, sir.
invocation, please?
Once again, Father, we come before you asking for wisdom and knowledge to make the right decisions for our people. We thank you for this opportunity today. God, we lift you up before our people and the world. We ask you to bless those that are sick and shed in, the soldiers on the battlefield, bless our city, country, state. In your name I do pray. Amen.
Amen. Let's stand and pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, your agenda is before you. Are there any additions, or corrections, or modifications anyone would like to make to the agenda? I have some minor things that I would like to handle, but I think I've consulted with all of you enough that we know that I can handle it under mayor and commissioner comments. So at that time, I've got a few little housekeeping things that I think we can handle there. Other than that, is that satisfactory with everybody? I entertain a motion that we approve the agenda then as written.
Offer motion.
Mr. Johnson made a motion that we approve the agenda as written and seconded by Mr. Ramey. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we have our agenda cut out and our work is cut out for us. Okay, Brenda, you're up first, so you want to come to that speaker stand over there?
Yes.
In case, some of you that don't have the agenda in front of you, this is our property and liability insurance renewal for the city of Hazlehurst.
Okay, we have got the renewal, the packets that I gave y'all that y'all had for Monday night, we were hurrying the company up to try to get that information, and so we put together some questions that I came down and Bernice and I went over, and so the price is actually $8,621 cheaper than that you had Monday. And that was because we had too many employees. They'd gotten the employees because of, like Bernice said, it's not her fault or anything, it's just the volunteers was listed on there too. And they're not full-time employees or anything, so they're just volunteers. And so we've got to get them separated out of there. But that's the reason that I was able to get it down, the $8,621 more dollars. The workman's comp, got great news for you. Workman's comp went down. The experience mod went down. It went from a 1.29 to a 1.5. And that's really good, going in the right direction. I can tell you that there is a county real close to us that their workman's comp went up $100,000 this year. 1 year, $100,000 it went up. And there was nothing we could do about it, and there was no other company that would write it.
Been a lot of claims made.
Yeah, their experience mod's a lot higher. But I'm just telling you, the more claims you have, the more it's gonna be. So, but great job. I appreciate y'all doing such a good job in getting that down. The airport liability went up just a little bit, but that's only because there's a cross-board rate increase there. There was nothing that had happened at the airport or anything. It just went up because of a cross-board rate increase. The bonds that we have to have for the mayor and for Bernice are same price, no difference in that. The package went up, like I say, it's going to be the 237 with the bonds, the package, the workers' comp, everything. It's $237,849, and last year it was $229,693. So the total increase is around $8,000 from last year, and that's a really good rate. I mean, I know y'all think it's not, but it really is.
Says the agent.
Says the agent, yes. Says the agent that has to fight with these companies that we have to send all these applications in too.
We appreciate you, Brenda.
But yes, it all turned out really good. If y'all have any questions about, the reason we went ahead and gave y'all the information on Monday night too, was so that you could look at the packet to see all of this information that was here that y'all got backs up what these prices are here. I just wanted y'all to see it and be able to look at it and know what was going on there. But if you have no more questions, Bernice has already got everything that she needs. And,
Okay, just to sort of recap it here, for the benefit of the public,
Okay.
all of us have this in front of us here. Workman's comp is, about $86,000 a year for a workman's comp, portion, and she said the airport is about $4,000. The, auto insurance with all of our trucks and tractors and things and equipment, and that package is $145,000 a year. And then, when you take and add it up, put it all together, as she said, insurance each year for the city of Hazlehurst is $237,000. Now, it takes a lot of little water bills and little tax bills to pay $237,000, but now let me share something else with you while we're talking about insurance. This is the insurance that Ms. Reynolds carries, is property and liability insurance. Every month, the city of Hazlehurst writes a check for $55,000 or more. The least I've seen lately has been $55,000 every month that we pay for employees' health insurance. Now then, if you take that $55,000 a month, that's $650,000 a year. So you take $650,000 and then $250,000 approximately here, 0, 10, 7, 9. You're talking about, we pay insurance, the city of Hazlehurst, with automobiles and liability and workman's comp and health insurance, we pay insurance companies $1 million a year, roughly. It's an expensive ordeal. A lot of the employees don't realize and don't think about with their salary.
That's the biggest cost of a family too, though.
Absolutely. So, just blowing the whistle a little bit here. Insurance is a big bite at the city's budget, about $1 million a year for all of it put together. Just so much that's not going to do it any good, but I can at least know about what it is anyway. Gentlemen, I entertain a motion that we approve our insurance carrier for the coming year.
Make a motion.
Ms. Reynolds, how do you title, McClendon Reynolds?
McClendon Reynolds.
Mr. Bloodworth made a motion that we approve the contract for the insurance with McClendon Reynolds. Is there a second? Ms. Leggett has seconded the motion. Any further discussion about it? Well, Brenda, we want you to work hard during the year. When you come in here next year, we want it down a little bit more.
We'll try.
All in favor? Any further discussion?
No.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Did you vote too?
I will.
I thought you would. All right, okay.
Thank you, Ms. Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda.
Brenda, try to see me before 1, please.
This-
Before 1 o'clock. Yeah, I have a doctor's appointment.
Okay, let's move on. The next item we're bringing up tonight is, what is it?
Property
Oh, yeah,
disposal.
okay. It's, discuss property disposal. Y'all's been the funniest thing. Are we all in the meeting?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, you and Mr. Ramey, you want to join us?
Yes, yes, sir.
Well, if you can explain where that's coming from on there, what we gotta pay this month.
No, we haven't,
You
but
know,
that's,
well, I told her we didn't have it, but Mr. Ramey was gonna help us with it.
Well, I no problem, I'll write a check.
All right, let's move along. I told you the story about our big water line that we're running out, and that we had to go through this man's little piece of property down, going out Gill Street out there before you get down to the pond at the bottom of the hill there. And he looked at it and he said, he called and said, you know, if y'all would give me a tax write-off as a gift, I'll not only sign the easement for you, I'll give you the whole blooming lot. What benefit we got with the whole lot down there? So the proposition that we've got before you, we mentioned in the work session, is to put this property up for bids to get the highest bidder. A minimum bid is $10,000. and us put this piece of property up for bid and dispose of it, we'll get our easement, but we don't need that entire lot.
$10,000 is, I would think would be a small amount. I mean,
Okay.
really, you think, that lot beside my house, we gave, $12,000 for
That's right.
it 23 years ago.
Yeah, well, you think you'll,
So $10,000 is not a whole lot for a lot of land.
okay.
This is 3 acres and it does border a nice pond back there. He might get $10,000 worth of fishing.
All right, I entertain a motion that we approve the proposition that we, we don't have to accept the bids now, but, let's, we'll put it in the paper and run it and give it ample time for the community to know, like, we'll make it legal, how we dispose of it. I entertain a motion that we, properly dispose and auction, off this, property.
I'll motion.
Mr. Johnson made the motion. Seconded by Mr. Ramey. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Let's move on now to the first reading of the, Bernie, Sonny, read that thing for me, please. Wait a minute, let me, so that everybody understands, we've got some guests that you're trying to observe and see what's going on. I'll try to make it as clear as I can. There's a lot of empty stores downtown.
Sure.
Where businesses used to Walmart is now selling everything you can imagine, from shotgun shells to fish bait to flowers to everything you can imagine. And these little old merchants all over town, the little towns that's had to suffer through this. And there's a lot of empty buildings, and in doing so, a number of little groups have decided they want to rent it. They can, the owners need something to pay the taxes with, and you can't blame the owner for trying to get something to meet his tax bill. And we've got an infiltration of churches. We've got, I believe somebody told me, I haven't counted them, I think it's 7, but somebody told me there's 9 churches right in our little downtown area down there renting those old buildings. A number of people, when they want to start going to ministry and start a church, they go down there and find a place that they can rent cheap. And what's happened, that now business, we're beginning to grow our town a little bit, and restaurants and various things want to come in. We've even changed the zoning so that we've got some apartments right downtown. Some people are living there. We fix to do several more. The man's working with, and we're working with him. But at any rate, the environment in downtown, the zoning requirements, and we did that. It's not a state law. There's no state law related to this. But we wanted to make sure that, just like me, I like to go out to a nightclub occasionally and enjoy it, and a lot of other people are like me. And but they didn't want me going out and frolicking on Saturday night within 500 feet of a church, and that we thought was a good thing to do. But as this business is growing downtown, we've got a restaurant that wants to come in that would like to sell alcohol, and a church. There's several churches within just a few hundred feet. So at any rate, what we're doing is modifying our city ordinance to relax. We're not saying that the churches can't come in. We're not bothering them. They're fine. But we're making some modification to the ordinances that will be more comfortable to develop downtown business. And that's what this is. Would you read it for me, please?
Yes, sir. An ordinance to amend the ordinance authorizing and regulating the sale of alcoholic beverages by the drink and for consumption on the premises and other purposes in the city of Hazelhurst, Georgia. Whereas the city of Hazelhurst is undergoing investments in its downtown area for redevelopment and rejuvenating the area which comprises the heart of the city on Latimer, Henson, South Tallahassee, South Williams, Railroad, and South Cromartie Streets. And whereas much of the intended development involves and hinges upon proposed restaurants, and whereas the current ordinance governing the sale of alcoholic beverages for consumption has restrictions that would discourage such development because of the changed use of several buildings as a result of the economic decline in said area, and whereas without such development, this area of the city will continue to decline and buildings will be vacant, fall into disrepair, and otherwise detract from appearance of the city. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hazelhurst that the ordinance authorizing and regulating the sale of alcoholic beverages by the drink and for consumption on the premises and other purposes in the city of Hazelhurst be amended as follows. Number 1, Article 1, Section 1A, 4 shall be deleted in its entirety. 2, Article 2, Section 12A shall be deleted in its entirety, and thus shall be substituted in its place the following. Section 12A. No person knowingly and intentionally may serve, sell, dispense, or offer to sell any alcoholic beverage within 1, a 300-foot radius of a property line of a freestanding private residence, unless this restriction is waived in writing by all the owners of such a private residence within the restricted distance, or 2, 300 yards of any recreational facility owned by the city of Hazelhurst, except any civic center or golf course owned by the city of Hazelhurst, or 3, 100 yards of an alcoholic treatment center owned and operated or licensed by the state of Georgia or the city of Hazelhurst. Except as amended hereby, all other articles, sections, and subsections of said ordinance shall remain intact and in effect as adopted. First reading, June 18th, 2020.
And that's today. This has to be read in open council for the public on 2 occasions in regular meeting of the council. And so next month at our regular meeting, this will be read again. And after it's read again, then the council will be in a position to either approve it or disapprove it, depending upon the will of the council. Okay, let's move on. Okay, the budget, we've worked real hard on it, went over it well, and all of you have had it in your hands for some time. In the last few days in trying to get it all put together, and even though we've got it in a general form for you, say, for instance, say the fire department, we have to go down and categorize how much is going to be spent for all different areas, and it has to be put where our accountant and our payroll people all can see and charge against every truck or tractor or fire truck or automobile or police car, the cost of upkeep and whatnot. It's right comprehensive in that this budget, for those, in case you don't know again, is the city budget is $5,313,194 that we've got here before us. The thing I'm asking the council to do, and I've briefed them on it, so that we lack a little bit in getting some of the payroll expenses covered like it should be. And so I'm asking the council to take and approve this budget contingent upon this week, as Bernice and I and Mr. Harold's been helping me get these figures together. I'm asking you for, out of the $5 million budget that we've got here balanced, that we want to modify the salary adjustments and payroll expenses by $10,000. And we know exactly how we can do it and generate the revenue and reduce some costs in other places to make it up. So it'll still be a balanced budget, and I'm asking you to give me the authority with it, because I want to get this done and completed by July 1st. So I think I've talked to the council. I entertain a motion that we approve the adjustment with the mayor's request for a $10,000 modification.
So moved to amend.
Second.
Diane?
Second.
Okay, it's been made by Mr. Ramey and seconded by Ms. Leggett that this motion carried that I've requested. Is there any further discussion about it? We all are mighty agreeable butts tonight. I want to commend you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion's carried. Okay, we're down. Goodness gracious, look at us. Okay, Rhonda, it's your time.
I don't have anything.
Oh, Lord.
Whoa. That was the amendment. You need to vote on your approval of the budget now.
Oh, you voted on just the
That
amendment?
was just the amendment.
You
I
just,
thought you said the approval and the amendment.
Well, it couldn't be as amended until you vote on it, and that was just the voting on the amendment.
okay, well, let's get back and get this straight from Mr. Parliamentarian. Thank you, sir, and he's absolutely correct. I entertain an amendment in the amount of $10,000. It's been moved and seconded on the amendment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, now then, as it's been amended, I entertain a motion that we approve the budget as amended. Mr. Johnson made that motion, who's gonna second?
Second.
Well, Mr. Blood was second to that. Now, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now, is it done right, Mr.
Now it's
Parliamentarian?
done. I think 3 times, but it's done.
Okay, all right, good enough, we're doing good. Ron, honey, you don't have anything to encourage us about tonight? Well, I want you to know that we appreciate all you do for us.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, anybody else? What's your daughter's name again?
Haley.
What?
Haley.
Haley. Haley, you got anything you wanna say?
She said, forget it, Jack.
Haley, you
She
say.
ain't got her name right, so she...
Let me tell you what, that young lady baked a cake, and her mother was here working. She was at home with all the bowls and the ingredients and whatnot, and baked a cake and set up here. And, you ought to, not only was it good and very tasty, it was a very pretty cake too. So, in fact, I'm even gonna go ahead and do this, or not, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm always doing something I got no business doing. And I told him that, I said, look, the too old wore out, I had a wonderful wife that I lived with for 54 years. And I just made up my mind, I'm not even interested in anyone, I'm just gonna go on my merry way by myself.
Be careful now.
Yeah, but
Yeah, where is this going?
Wait a minute now, Haley's waiting on this now, she already knows about this. I said, I'm gonna wait for Haley to grow up and get grown, and I believe I'm gonna marry her.
Bless your heart.
Okay, well, so much for that.
I was just gonna recommend the city's official baker.
That would be better.
I think Mama likes that idea better.
Okay, all right.
I taught her everything she knows, and I'm of age.
There you go.
All right, okay. Yeah.
Getting
Oh,
weird.
No, anybody else got anything to say? Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that cake up here.
Well.
You were gone.
What?
You were gone.
Well, you missed something, I can tell you.
It sounded like the cake was gone.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. All right, let's move along. No more citizen comments. Now, we're now in the mayor and commissioner's comments. Gentlemen, now's your time to let it be heard. What you got on your mind? And lady?
Did you ever find the email from GMA? You know,
Regarding,
the email, I told you that I contacted them and you said you were gonna look for it. I didn't look for it again, but,
I haven't had time.
okay.
Yesterday was payroll.
I mean, it's no big deal.
Okay.
But
Well,
I just
what does it
wanted-
pertain to? Something we need to look into?
It was pertaining that the GMA was making a recommendation about all of the things that's going on.
Yeah.
So, and I say, yeah, they need to have some input into the legislature, because that was going over to the legislation,
Yeah.
today, and, they was supposed to be part of it. That's
Well, it
why.
hasn't come in on my email, but I don't think it has.
It's in there, but we'll find it. It's no
Okay,
big
all right.
deal anyway.
Okay, I haven't seen it. Have you seen it, Bernice?
Mayor, I get so many, I'm not gonna say
But
that I have or I have not.
I've cleaned mine off a time or two, and
But it's no big deal, but
Okay.
seriously,
Mayor, I know I've mentioned it before, but we do have a lot of roads that are really in bad need. If we get a minute to look at them.
Oh, yeah, we're looking at them all the time, honey. Let me bring you up to date now. You'll start smelling asphalt, I think, next week on several. But that's not even gonna be, close to the ones that need to be done. But then again, our, T-Splosh, what level is it? Can you remember? In other words, our next tier is being, let, it's already been let. And we had a hearing in here, and it's already, it's in the process. You're gonna smell a good bit of asphalt this week, around town. There's several streets in here that's gonna be in it. And then, right after then, as soon as we get our little street splosh, gets up where we can, we're gonna correct some more. So as fast as we get money that we can use on streets.
I know the Bird Street over there has got some potholes, right?
Yeah, well, another thing we're doing with streets now, we're not gonna be able to cover them all. We're always gonna have, it looks like, some that need help. But we've got a load of asphalt coming from Brunswick, Georgia, that's not, it's coal mix. We can bring a 10-wheeler in here with a sizable bit of asphalt that will hold up for a month or so before it solidifies. And Mr. Swain sitting back there in the extreme right is gonna take his equipment and the trucks and go to a lot of these places where the roads is flaked off at the edge, it's dangerous around town, we got a lot of that too, and potholes where we can't resurface. We're gonna fill them full of this coal mix, and, one thing that's holding us up, we're looking for one of those rollers, asphalt rollers, because we've got a habit around here, and I'm proud of them, and I fuss at them occasionally. We don't know how to take and get a tamper and smooth it out. We'll go there and put something in a hole, and the hole's about as bad when they get through as it was when they started. We're fixing to stop that, aren't we, Conrad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Bless his heart. But, we're working on, taking and doing a lot of patching and completely resurfacing, and we're working hard on it. Okay, what else?
You have a comment?
Yeah, I've got 2 or 3 things I wanna handle here too. All right. Now, where's that loan package? We got this package from, GFA. GFA is Georgia Environmental Finance Authority that we've got some financing with, of, modification of loan number, a modification documents regarding DW 2017030 loan agreement with the Georgia Environmental, Service, GFA, and the city of Hazlehurst. Well, they'd like to start on being, poor Bernice to death, they're coming in modifying a loan. What in the world is in all these places for the mayor to sign, and the city attorney? Guess what this is? This is federal government's ruling that as of July 1st through December the 31st, these GFA loans cannot charge any interest or require any payment. It's a 6-month deferment, and the loan modification of this is there, but we've got to sign it that we've accepted it. So this is, and even though the attorney's not here, and, everything's not intact, I'm asking the council, I'm entertaining a motion, that this is, only thing it's doing with our GFA loan, is saying that as of through June, we're to make the payments, starting July through December, it'll be January. Now, we don't have to not send the payment. We can send it, but we need to, this will help us a little bit.
Why in the world would you?
So I'm asking, I'm entertaining a motion that you'll allow the mayor to sign this loan modification, as soon as the attorney gets back in town next week, and let's get this off and get all the documents they need to substantiate giving us a 6 months deferral.
Off the motion.
Mr. Johnson made the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded and third by Mr. Bloodworth and Mr. Ramey. All right, that's good enough. Any further discussion about giving us the 6 months reprieve on our loan payment?
Looked like we could do it, send it off tonight.
No, we have the attorney, they require you, the city attorney's got to say that we've read it and that my signature is, well, never mind what he's got to do. Any further discussion?
I thought you had some.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I will execute this, and Mr. Smith will sign it as soon as he's in here. I talked to him on the phone, and we'll give that back to you. All right, okay, all right, got that done. All right. I'm doing this in regress. I don't like it a bit. Mr. Dwayne Johnson has operated the hospital for 20 years. He's been a doctor, nurse, janitor, and everything else at the Jeff Davis Hospital. And with his knowledge of health and the health situation, has been representing the city of Hazlehurst on the health board for a number of years. When he first had his stroke and illness, I went and filled in on his place for a short period of time. And as soon as he could get well and y'all gonna have a meeting or?
No,
we gonna have one?
no,
Amen.
we in with you.
As soon as he could get back in his position, we put him right back in there, and he's been back filling it, but he's asked for some reason to remove him and appoint a new person. I've consulted with Mr. Ramey, and he's agreed to serve on the health board. I entertain a motion that we appoint Mr. John Ramey as our representative on the health board, local health board.
I made the motion.
Mr. Bloodworth has made the motion, Ms. Leggett has seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor of appointing Mr. John Ramey as our representative on the health board, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Shut your mouth, Ron. All right, so done. All right, now the next thing. The county has a liaison from the county commissioners on the industrial authority. And the industrial authority is sizably financed authority trying to promote business and industry in Hazlehurst. And we do not have a representative representing the city of Hazlehurst on the industrial authority. And we've got a member of our group that's highly educated, well-trained. He knows how to run his mouth and sometimes too much. But at any rate, I'm teasing my good buddy down there. We've got a very capable man representing us on the industrial authority, and I'm asking the city to agree that we appoint Mr. John Bloodworth as our representative on the industrial authority.
Offer motion.
Mr. Johnson made the motion that we appoint Mr. Bloodworth as our industrial authority liaison. Seconded by Mr. Ramey. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hush, Bloodworth.
Okay.
We've made two very capable appointments to represent us in two different areas there, and I appreciate you gentlemen being willing to serve. Ladies and gentlemen,
Before you go on, Mr. Mayor, can I have a, also on the health board, conference yesterday, we was informed that they're gonna start doing, this virus checking free next Thursday. And the entire city and all should start getting all kind of things on the, social media and to the different departments, hospital, city, county, to let people know that they can go down there. Anyone who desire to be checked can be checked. And we was informed that this virus is going up higher and higher. I don't quite understand how everybody is working, but they still say you can do as you please. But this thing is very, very serious. But anyway, the public is invited, act to come and be checked if they would like to.
at the health department.
And then with no physician orders. You can come, there's a tracking mechanism to find out how many is in the state of Georgia.
Right,
Yes.
I think that's great. I'm
This
thinking.
is the health department and or the hospital?
The health department
Oh,
is in
this-
charge
this
of it,
is
not
the
the
Department of
hospital.
Health.
Yes, you go to the health department, and, it's where they're supposed to be set up. But you'll know more about it, because you'll hear more about it.
Okay, very good. Thanks for bringing us that information. That's another reason that, with your knowledge and experience in the health field, but you said what you wanted, and you don't have that job anymore.
Thank you.
You're not involved in that. You got a new man there. All right. You're all 32 minutes. It's pretty good, isn't it? Huh?
You got something else you want to say?
Oh, yes, I do have. Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that, Raymond. We had at the work session, we had a gentleman to come in and make an appeal to separation with the police department, and had quite an appeal here the other night. And since this happened, the chief has been, because of COVID illness in his family, he's been quarantined and hasn't been out around. But at any rate, it's an item that we've got to look at, and that we in the council have got to, in a very respectful way, make sure that the man's words have been heard, and that we handle what's been presented to us in an honorable and correct fashion. And I'll assure you that we will do that to the very best of our ability. And as I've already told him, he was here earlier, that the decision has not been made, but we will do it in a very correct way in the near future. And other than that, I think that's enough.
Almost. I was in a state of shock when I heard the acquisitions that were given to us by the man you're talking about. I think it was a black eye, it was mud thrown, it was a black eye given to the city. There was accusations that were given to a council member, to our chief, and our city police department. I would like to see that these things are disproven are proven. If they're proven, we need to make corrections. If they are disproven, we need the city of Hazelhurst to know that we are running a very good police department without corruption. The man made it sound like we have a lot of corruption in our police department. I don't want to believe it.
I want to rebut that, please.
He made it sound like that, just a second, you can rebut when I'm through. At the same time, I was displeased that this had to happen, but it makes the people in Hazelhurst see us with perception that I hope is not true. Remember, a perception is true for the perceiver, and city, people of Hazelhurst may have a perception that should not be true. Now, you may rebut it.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you brought this matter up, because I too was shocked
Yes.
to hear what I heard when I was on the telephone Monday night. Especially the allegation that was made at me,
Yes.
because I'm not going to participate in a corrupt cover-up or anything like that. So, by all means, do what you feel like is necessary to do. I stand my ground. I have a private business, I ain't got nothing to hide, at all.
That's the reason that I...
But if you want to know something, call me and ask me. And I ain't got no call from you since Monday night. But I did from everybody else. Just don't understand that. But why wasn't these issues brought up when prior to him getting in trouble?
I don't know, the first time I heard it, John was there.
I'm not upset, I'm just saying.
Now, both of you
I don't think we need to argue this.
I'm not arguing.
We have to vote.
The allegation was made against me.
Now then, I've already asked, and I've been and talked with Ramey and everybody about this. If we, and this is public, and it should be, every time we present something like this and put it on that screen, and I'm one that believes in that camera right there. When I first became mayor of Hazelhurst several years ago, I bought a camera myself and got it down there and started trying to film with opposition from the council. Oh, we don't want that thing in here. Well, from the very beginning, from the first time I sat in this position with the city, I wanted what's there. I want the public to know what's going on. But now, when we come in with something like this, and we sit here like we're doing now, we had a wonderful meeting in 32 minutes, and we come here with this. I've asked y'all to trust me enough that I'm going to do the very best I can to see that the right thing is done, to let me keep this within the four walls of my office and leave this out. And now we've got it all over. We started off with it last week, and then we've got this, and I don't like it. Now, I wish you would show enough respect for me to let me handle this, and I will handle it correctly, I'll assure you. I answer to the man above, and I answer to my fellow man and the constituents of this town, and I don't appreciate this going on. But anyway, Mr. Johnson, it's time to close this thing off. You got a motion?
Motion that we go home.
Mr. Johnson made a motion, we adjourn. Mr. Bloodworth?
Second.
Ms. Leggett, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.